everyone, welcome to Trail Sage, and I'm at the skate park ready to check out this new bite mount, so let's go check it out. Let's head back to the studio where I can tell you more about this and go over the specs. Okay, so let's talk about what this actually is. This bite mount is made by HSU, and it's a good action camera accessory. It's not intended to take the place of your main source of video, but rather a way to capture a different perspective to aid in your storytelling. It's especially helpful for capturing footage where you need to show both your hands. And full disclosure, HSU did send me this bite mount, but they didn't ask me for a review. All the opinions expressed are my own, and I wasn't required to submit anything beforehand. So, having said that, let's go over the specs. The bite mount weighs in at 42 grams and is constructed in two separate pieces. The mouthpiece is made of a soft ergonomic silicone for maximum comfort and safety, and it overlaps the plastic mount. These two pieces are joined together using a zip tie. Both the mouthpiece and plastic mount have a large opening down the center to maximize breathability. The air comes out through two vents on either side. The accessory uses a traditional 3-prong GoPro style mount that we're all accustomed to using, which also means that this will work with many different action cameras. Now, I didn't see any other color options on the website, but HSU claims that this bright orange color will come in handy if you ever drop it in the water. The package arrived with the plastic mount and silicone mouthpiece already attached. They also provided a replacement silicone mouthpiece, zip tie, and nut. To attach the action camera to the mount, they included a metal thumb screw and wrench. Finally, an arm strap and a lanyard were in the box, but I didn't see any instructions on how to attach it. Well, that does it for the specs, so let's jump into my likes. The silicone mouthpiece is really comfortable. You can bite down pretty hard and not have to worry about banging your teeth together. The mouthguard also provides plenty of protection from any impact should you bump into anything with your camera. Not only is this really comfortable to bite down on, but the large opening in the center makes it really easy to breathe through. I was able to run with this in my mouth for short periods of time with absolutely no problem. Now, I have to admit, when I first saw this design, I was a little bit concerned with the attachment point, but the way the silicone is molded to fit around the plastic mount made this a non-issue, and the zip tie held up great. And speaking of zip ties, I'm glad that they included an extra one as well as a spare mouthpiece, because these are the two pieces that are going to get the most abuse. The ability to show your surroundings and shift your point of interest is something that you can't get from a chest mount where your viewing angle is fixed. Also, having this in your mouth makes aiming your shot a whole lot easier compared to those traditional headband style mounts. So, are there any downsides? Unfortunately, there's one, and it's almost a deal killer. While the silicone mouthpiece is extremely comfortable, it's also overly flexible. This means if you're doing any kind of activity that requires heavy impact, like running or jumping, or if you have to turn your head from side to side very quickly, the amount of flex and bounce from this mount makes those shots unusable. And I'm not using the older GoPros with very little to no hyper smoothing. This is the Hero 9, which has great stabilization. All the running shots that I captured were practically useless. Fortunately, I did find a simple solution. Instead of biting down on the mouthpiece itself, I clamped down onto the hard plastic portion farther up, which is still covered in silicone. Breathability is still great, but obviously not nearly as comfortable or safe as using the mouthpiece. As you can see from my sample clips side by side, the difference is night and day. The left side is me using the normal mouthguard, and the right side is me biting down on the hard plastic. Now, whether you're comfortable with doing that is completely up to you, but let's assume that you want to use the bite mount how it was intended to be used. Here are a couple situations that I think it'll be ideal for. Activities with less impact like rollerblading and skateboarding look great. Now, I'm not much of a water guy, but I imagine this will work pretty well for swimming and surfing too. Sports like rock climbing, where the use of your hands are critical, also show up well, especially when you combine it with third-person shots. And speaking of hands, this could also be useful when you're doing product demos and tutorials, so let's talk pricing. You can find this bite mount online for about $17, which makes it quite reasonable. If you're interested in picking one up, I'll leave a link in the description below. To summarize my thoughts on this product, while the drawback is serious, I still think there are good use cases for this mount. And while not ideal, biting down higher up on the plastic mount did solve the issue and ended up working well for impact sports like running. As I said in the beginning, this accessory was not created to be your main source of footage, but rather a good tool to supplement your footage. For its cost, I think it's wonderful at getting those shorter, unique shot perspectives that'll help tell your story. Well, that does it for this review. I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any feedback or questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. No negatives, huh?
No negatives so far, other than me being really bad at skating right now.
And walking up ramps, apparently. Let's go back to the studio and I can talk to... We're testing out the bite mount mount. We're testing out the bike mount, but the bite mount total. We're testing out the bite mount. First saw this design, I was a little bit concerned with how loud the cars are outside. Thank you. Crap.